Hey guys, Taylor here, and we are back to our Mindset Mondays. Okay, so this week coming at you with a video. Hope this helps a little bit, takes away from some of that reading, give you guys a chance to get to know me. But last week we talked about the growth first fixed mindset, right? So the growth mindset looks at everything, every experience as an opportunity for growth, right? So if things don't go how we wanted, we can look at that and be like, okay, what can I do to get better? How can I make sure this doesn't happen again? Whereas the fixed mindset believes that we are born with certain traits, right? We're smart or we're not. We're athletic or we're not. And the truth is we all have the ability to adopt the growth mindset and progress for ourselves, right? We may not all be able to be professional athletes, but we can become the best versions of ourselves through hard work, getting help, and really working towards that, right? So failure is simply an opportunity to get better. We can learn from it and move forward. So this week we're going to talk about a few other mentalities, and we're really going to dive into language and how the words we use have a greater impact on what we think than really anything else in life. And I'm going to create some awareness with that, and we'll talk about a few mentalities. So the first thing I want to talk about is the survival mentality. And the survival mentality says it focuses on what you don't want to happen. And I know this all too well. I lived a period in my life where I was like, I don't want to work here. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to feel alone. And the problem is when that's all you're saying and all you're focusing on, your mindset becomes negative, and you get into a place of just focus on what you don't want to happen, and then it's likely that that's what's going to happen, right? And so there, some statements are things like, I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be injured. I don't want to be alone. And when we say those things, it's probably more likely that you will be overweight and you will get injured, because that's where your thoughts are. And also, we don't really know what you actually do want, right? And so, the problem with this negative mentality is all of a sudden then we adopt another mindset that's called the scarcity mindset, where we worry and we fear that there's not enough opportunities or experiences for anyone. This can relate to whatever job you're in. If you're looking for more clients and you have the scarcity mindset, you're afraid of your competitor, you're afraid of other people in the industry, you're afraid that they're going to get stolen from you or poached. And the reality is there's more than enough people in this world for everyone to have more than enough clients, right? And instead what we want to do is we want to adopt the abundance mindset, which is says that there's more than enough to go around. We can all be successful. We can all be happy. And once we do that, we can really just focus on what we need to do. We can be inspired by others, and we can better help others. So an example I like to use is I've coached at a lot of different gyms, and there's a lot of gym owners or coaches or trainers in this space who are in the scarcity and survival mindset, right? They're afraid that even a trainer at their own gym, they're like, I can't share too much what I do with them because then they're gonna steal my ideas, and then new clients might go to them instead of me. Or from a gym owner standpoint, I used to be a head coach at a gym, and I definitely was afraid of the gym down the street. I viewed them as the enemy, that they were going to take our programming or our marketing strategy or our onboarding process. And the reality is there's more than enough people, right? If we think about like a gym that's at 200 members and they want to go to 250, and the population of that town is 50,000 people, there is well more than enough for, that gym, the gym down the street, and 5 more gyms to have as many people as they need to be successful. So we really want to get out of that scarcity mindset and realize that there's more than enough to go around for everyone. And when we do that, it gives us freedom, and we can relax, and we can release tension and just focus on what we need to do in order to grow. And in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about language. We're going to talk about the words we use and how impactful that's going to be to shift out of this, right? So a lot of people think in order to have, the right mindset, you just need to think happy thoughts. Just be positive and it'll come to you, right? And I'm going to, kind of shatter that process. And I want you to realize that the words you use every day, how you talk, is gonna have a greater impact on what you think, right? So let's talk about, for example, the word spell. What do you think of when I say spell? Maybe magic or witchcraft, or things that aren't real. Well, the definition of spell is actually a word or group of words of great influence. And that's what our words are, right? They impact how we think and our subconscious mind. So let's do a little exercise. I don't want you to think of a red car. What are you thinking of? A red car, right? I said it, all of a sudden it popped in your head. And this is the way that the survival mentality works. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be weak. Well, that's probably what's going to happen, because that's what you're thinking about every single day. And so instead we want to shift from using negations, which are words like can't, won't, don't, into affirmations, will, do, right? And so another good example of this is like, have you ever been looking for a new car? And let's say it's like a Jeep Wrangler, and you go to the dealership, you start looking it up online, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, they're everywhere. On your commute, on the way to the gym, at the school pickup, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, everyone has this Jeep. Well, no, not everybody has it. It's just now to the forefront of your mind. And so that's why we are going to shift from the survival mindset into the creation mindset. And the creation mentality is focusing on what you do want to happen, right? So when we shift our words, we shift our mind. So instead of saying, I don't want to be broke, we're going to say, I want financial freedom. Instead of saying, I don't want to work here, I want to do work I'm passionate about. Instead of saying, I don't want to be injured, I want to be healthy. Because once you start shifting from what you don't want to what you do want, now we can create a plan. Now we have a goal. That's all it is. We've changed that statement into a goal, and we can create steps to get there. And not only that, it creates possibility. Do you feel like it's now possible, right? If all you're focused on is man, I'm struggling financially, I'm not making money, I don't want this, it doesn't feel like it's possible to get out of it, right? But when you say, I want financial freedom, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can get that. Now, how do I do that, right? And so I challenge you today, whenever those thoughts come in where you're focusing on what you don't want, which is essentially worrying, let's translate the words you're using into what you do want, right? Because the other thing is, a lot of people, they may not be happy in their current life. They may not like their job and realize they don't want that, which is a good step. However, that doesn't tell us what we do want, right? If you're not happy where you are, well, where do you want to go? Because if you don't know, we can't actually work towards getting there. So challenge you today, let's get out of survival into creation, keep crushing those push-ups, crushing those air squats, and we'll see you next week.